Hello, everyone. And we are here now today with Sarah Jo Palmer, who's our new hairdresser that just joined our team and roster and managing artist. So this is going to be a conversation between the two of us to introduce her to all of you and to give you a little bit more context about her artistry. So welcome, Sarah, to the team and to managing artists.
Thanks so much. I'm so excited.
First of all, where are you based?
So in London, I live currently in Dalston. I've kind of been in East London for quite a while, but I'm from the West Country originally, so you probably hear a bit of a West Country accent, but I've been in London for about 15 years, so I feel like I'm a Londoner now. Over 10 years, I think that's it.
Wonderful. And give us a little bit of context and history about how you became a hairdresser and what made you become like a hairdresser, like where does your passion come from?
Well, my mum was a hairstylist and she had a salon. So very early, from like 13, I was sweeping the salon floor. I was washing hair, you know, very kind of back in the days, like you would do that with your like mum and stuff. And that kind of gave me a bit of experience. But then later on, I wanted to do hair, but I also loved and had a massive passion for art and sculpture. And I paint a lot, and I kind of had that fusion of background of like hair and salon, but not even knowing kind of the idea of fashion until I fell in love with publications. So I think that was my introduction into fashion. So it was kind of the art, the fashion side from the publications, and then my history is kind of growing up in a salon. I kind of had all of that mixture, and then I found my way to London and kind of realized what the fashion industry was more, and yeah, progressed more into being a hairstylist and freelance and session work.
And so you started working with James Species.
Exactly. So at first I kind of contacted loads of agencies, assisted different people, and then I met James and I worked with him for 8 years. So it was kind of, at first as like a first, and then later on it was more for shows, and he's like been such a great mentor to me. And it's a very long apprenticeship, but it kind of ended up doing my own thing after, but we've stayed and remained like very good friends. He's like very inspiring person, and like, yeah, it was a great time working together.
That's great to hear. So now let's come to the present. So now you've been a professional hairstylist for how long?
Well, really, I mean, fashion kind of around 10 years, like through assisting and, you know, sort of 10 years in the fashion industry, I would say, but, you know, a lifetime cutting hair. But yeah, I would say around 10 years. It's kind of when you count it all up, you're like, oh, yeah. But in the fashion and session shooting, and then, yeah, gradually, obviously, like more so myself after.
So I'd like to talk about projects that you worked on, and if there is a few that are particularly exciting for you or like important in your career that you'd love to talk about.
I mean, I think I'm one of those people that constantly has side projects on the go and lots of things that inspire me that I kind of feel I want to do. So I kind of started a magazine, I've got like a comb, I have these kind of constant ideas that I always want to explore, and I like to create experiences, and I like it not to be kind of like one-dimensional or like, you know, you're in a box. I like to create other things. So hair is part of it, and then I kind of like to explore beauty as a whole as kind of like a different experience. So yeah, there's like lots of different projects really, I guess. Like the comb is my recent project.
Tell us more about it, because that's a very interesting project that you're working on and that you developed. So just tell us more.
So Recomb started in January, and basically it was a kind of conversation that started about 2 years prior on the show circuit, really just sort of seeing there's, you know, fashion is so amazing, but there's a lot of outfall and there's a lot of plastic waste, and just kind of looking at different ways of maybe small changes, and then maybe kind of more people will take that on. And looking at kind of the hair industry and also like the tools in particular, there was like not many options for something else. So kind of looking at different ways of doing it, and then found a way through precious plastic of how to make combs out of recycled plastic. So we started off and launched over Fashion Week, and gave a lot to people that I knew and sort of trialed it and got feedback. And then we launched with like a big wide tooth comb. And it's been like really well received, which is great. I think there's a bit of a shift and kind of a movement at the moment. People want something else, and there wasn't really another option for this. And I wanted, to create something that's very simplistic, beautiful, but sustainable at the same time, and made out of recycled plastic that we can kind of get rid of some waste that's being produced. So something I'm very passionate about.
Is this for sale?
Yes, so we're currently stocked in Goodhood, and potentially a very nice new place that we're stocking in very soon in Paris, which is due to open, which I'm really excited about. So at the moment, Goodhood and on our website, and then we've got someone that is taking us on in Paris, which I'll be able to say very soon.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations for this great project and for this entrepreneurial adventure. And well, I'm quite intrigued as well in your role as editor-in-chief of Black magazine. Where did that come from? How did it start? What is the aim of the magazine, and what is the message that you want to convey for the magazine?
So when we started, I started with another hairstylist, Claire Greck. She works with Anthony Turner, and that was back in 2014. So even then, like, this was before beauty papers, before a lot of beauty magazines, and I think that, like, I just had a craving to be able to do something myself and have a bit more of a voice. And I've been really obsessed with publications, as I said, and just that as a kind of art form, and being able to kind of creatively express yourself was something really important. And we discussed it, and then started a magazine with no experience, no kind of knowledge, but just sort of did it. And then it was really well received. And then what our philosophy behind it as well is that we change the physical makeup of the magazine each time. So we started off kind of doing like a poster print fold down, and then our last issue was 400 pages, and it was all on recycled paper. And we did a big party that was like a concept as well, so it's all very like theme led. So it's a kind of mixture between beauty, fashion and art, and an experience at the same time. So it's something that I've really enjoyed doing, and over the time that we've done it, I think the industry's also changed, and there's so many amazing beauty platforms now, and beauty has a big voice. So I think it's been interesting as part of that journey.
So now I'd like to talk more about you as a hairstylist for photo shoots. And so where do you make your research, and how do you prepare them, and how do you get inspired?
So I really love the process of going quite deep in research, and I love to archive. And for me, I kind of I obsess and kind of really have a lot of like history references and film references, art, and luckily through the magazine I have a press pass as well, and I go often, or did go, to CSM, which is like an amazing library that has so many different fashion books and all the magazines from all the Vogues, all really old rare publications, all the art books, which has been amazing archiving. Very many days I spent there and taking pictures and keeping it. So when I have a shoot that I kind of need to reference or build ideas around or come up with a mood board, I have like a big archive that I've already collected over the years. And then also it could be like really random, to be honest, shapes, objects, like lots of things inspire me, textures. I'm quite crafty. I like to build things. I like to paint and sculpture. So I really take inspiration from many different areas and many different mediums. And I think hair itself can be a material and is a material. So you can kind of craft it in so many ways. So I like to think of it in that way as well. And then also reverting back to like sort of iconic images and beautiful films and music and theatre and everything really.
Finally, I'd like to ask you about the future. Is there any specific project or any specific creative idea that you'd love to develop in the coming months or in the future?
Recently, which isn't until we kind of open up more, but I've had this idea that I'd love to do a beauty kind of a sensory experience dinner, that involves hair, makeup, nails, set, that really kind of is an experience that the audience comes to, and they kind of eat, and they have makeup that will be part of the food, or they eat it and it'll color their mouth or their cheeks, and then the hair will be like sort of hair pieces and nails, and it will be, but in a very, very beautiful way. And it's something that I'm kind of working on a creative at the moment. I'd love to host something before Christmas as a really beautiful dinner, and kind of get different people to collaborate with. And host that if we can before Christmas, and we're socially distanced, but that's something I would love to do in a sensory way. And then many different ideas for the print of the magazine that I've been kind of holding up in my mind until we get to do the next one. So yeah, very many.
Well, that's a wonderful idea. I think that the concept of like mixing sensorial experience with beauty and is beautiful, and it's like everything now is so interrelated, and it's a wonderful way to kind of like bring it all together. Yeah. Congratulations. It's a great idea. I hope you can really make it for Christmas.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for this short kind of like introduction. I feel like it's so good to meet you in person, and for everybody to meet you and to get to know you, and we look forward to collaborating together on many great projects.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye-bye.